Netflix has brought together great content from all over the world to our screens. They've cherry-picked some of the best shows and movies out there, and some absolutely terrible ones as well. TV network shows gained international audiences with the company, but sometimes, some shows leave their roster for some reasons. And the latest to go is an NBC drama. Chicago Fire will be leaving the platform very soon. Let's take a look at the what, when, how, and why of the story. First up, the firefighter drama will be gone by 1st September. For many people watching outside the United States, Chicago Fire will no longer be available. All the currently available seasons of the show, created by Dick Wolf, will be leaving. The drama that follows the lives of the people of the Chicago Fire Department is currently airing on NBC. It's actually part of a trio of shows set in a Chicago universe. These include Chicago Med and Chicago PD. So really, the three shows follow the trials and tribulations of the firemen, paramedics, nurses, and policemen of the Windy City. And Chicago Fire is not the only one leaving. Chicago Med left Netflix back in July, and the one about the policemen, Chicago PD, was never licensed by the streaming giant. The two shows were licensed by the OTT platform just a year ago to be available in 14 regions on the platform. The first 4 seasons of both shows were available. Since the license was only for a year, that time is up now. Among the countries losing the show are Canada, Australia, Belgium, the United Kingdom, and others. But why is it leaving so soon? It's a little complicated. We might even say we saw it coming. For starters, it was never licensed in the US. Its sister show, Chicago Med, was also taken off earlier this year. Legally speaking, the licensing agreement that Netflix had with NBC is about to expire, and things have gotten a bit more exciting since the deal was signed. The TV network has created its own streaming platform called Peacock. All of NBC's programming, including the 3 Chicago shows, will be available there. And because they're all in the same company, the freshest episodes are available every week. All the previously released seasons are also available, as opposed to Netflix, where only 4 seasons were made available. NBC's own streaming service is the one to watch out for. Not only does it have all NBC content, but also third-party content providers of TV series, films, news, and even sports programming. Peacock has both free and paid versions. It started out in 2020 and has since expanded very aggressively, starting out with Europe. The OTT platform has confirmed a launch in India, Australia, Japan, Malaysia, Indonesia, and nearly all of South America. Not just that, it's also got strategic partnerships with local networks in Canada, Saudi Arabia, and the North African region. So then, it all makes sense that NBC is pulling its content from other platforms. Earlier, it also pulled The Office and Parks and Recreation from Hulu, Amazon Prime, and Netflix. Basically, the two companies have had a licensing split, which is becoming more and more common now. A lot of TV networks and studios are repurposing their shows and franchises to gain more viewers as the number of streaming platforms goes up. For viewers, it just means having to buy more and more subscriptions to access our favorite content. Might as well go back to old school 1 episode a week style viewing. Hey, at least it will be cheaper. And now, where can we watch Chicago Fire? Well, that's a difficult one to answer. It really depends on where you are living. For starters, the show gets a weekly broadcast in the United States. The 11th season of the show will air every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time in the fall, sandwiched between Chicago Med and Chicago PD, making your hump day all about Chi-Town. But if you are more of a binge viewing kind of consumer, then you need to get Peacock. All the latest episodes and previous seasons are available there. This is for viewers in the US, UK, and most of Europe. As for the rest of the world, NBC hasn't really rolled out Peacock around the world like its streaming rivals have, but it's certainly getting there. In some regions, the show is available on Prime Video even. And lastly, what's next for the show? The last season ended on a cliffhanger, and the fans can't wait for more. The next chapter of Firehouse 51's crew will unfold very soon, and there's just so many questions that need answering. But mostly, who pulled up in the car outside Kid and Severide's cabin? And are they the dangerous type? The 11th season is set to premiere on 21st September, so we should have all our answers pretty soon. But for now, that's a bye-bye to the title on Netflix. It's a really worrying time for the streaming giant because it saw a record-breaking loss in subscribers this year, and like we said before, a lot of shows are being pulled. And as far as Netflix originals are concerned, they've just not been up to par. Now, let's take a look at some other news that's brewing on the television front. And speaking of shows leaving streaming platforms, 6 shows have left HBO Max. Vinyl and Mrs. Fletcher are among these 6 shows that have been removed from HBO Max. Interestingly, all of these are HBO original shows. Even Batgirl has been canceled. All of these developments are following a massive corporate shakeup. First, let's get some clarity on the difference between HBO proper and HBO Max. HBO is the cable network that's known for producing popular series like The Sopranos, Game of Thrones, and The City. It's a pay network. HBO Max is a streaming service that includes the entire HBO and Warner Brothers library. It also has its own original content, separate from HBO. Some of their shows are And Just Like That and Pretty Little Liars: Original Sin. Now, over the past couple of days, there's been some moving and shaking at the corporate level. As a result, we're seeing some major changes happening at the platform really fast. The $90 million DC project Batgirl has been canceled, as well as the sequel to Scoob. What's alarming is that Batgirl was already in post-production, and Scoob is almost complete. Other films that were exclusive to Max were also quietly removed from the service. These include The Witches and Locked Down. Looks like some major developments are underway at the HBO headquarters. But there's some good news for fans of Education. Filming has begun on the 4th season of the show. Actor Asa Butterfield confirmed this when he posted a picture of himself by his vanity van on Instagram. This coming-of-age British comedy has been wildly popular on Netflix since its debut in 2019. The show is set at the Moordale Secondary School, and it follows the personal adventures and exploits of its students, teachers, and parents. The show's 3rd season was released after a long delay last year, but the show was renewed for a 4th and possibly last season within a week of that. Given where they left us at the end of the last season, it seems like Education is going to feel like a different show. We saw that the school had shut down. A lot of fans thought that the decision might be reversed, but from what we hear, that might not be the case. The next season will be tracking the main characters as they move to new schools. Some of the cast members won't be returning to the show. This includes Simone Ashley, Patricia Allison, Tanya Reynolds, and Rocky Thakrar. That's a big cast shakeup that could also indicate that some new faces might be joining the cast too. Filming has only just begun, and so it's hard to really tell when the show will premiere. We're hoping the cast will drop more hints as filming progresses. That could give us more clues into how the season may develop. And lastly, Peter Jackson says Amazon's Lord of the Rings TV show ghosted him. It seems the Oscar-winning director was asked by Amazon if he'd like to be involved with a multi-million-dollar Lord of the Rings series, and then cut off all contact. They even promised to send him scripts. When Jackson was asked, he said it would be impossible to decide without seeing a script, but then the scripts never showed up. Although, he said he was fine with it and had no complaints at all about the situation. And this was 5 years ago. Amazon responded, saying that as part of the process of pursuing rights for the show, they were obligated to keep the TV show and the film very distant from each other. But in our opinion, they're like 5 years late in giving him this information. That's a wrap for this video. Are you disappointed to see Chicago Fire leave Netflix? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.